Afternoon. I'm setting up my GoPro at the moment as I've got a bit of interesting stuff to do. I've just got my 3-phase working, but it's not a 3-phase as we know it, Jim. It's my 3-phase that I've got off a converter. I've got my converter working, even though I need a Hager D-type MCB to really make sure I can turn it on, because blowing the fuse, I guess it's got an inductive inrush current. A few of you have been commenting on my sniffles and cough and my general, the way I'm coming across at the moment, and I have been for a few weeks. My belief I'm getting over this sinusitis, which I got in end of December. So it's taken 3 months, which is about what the guys at City that got it had. I thought it was a chest infection. So I've had to do this because I left off the RMT controller here. Another £63.72 quote from Tradify. Done a couple of other things on Tradify. I've done some purchase orders. Quote on there, Tradify. Show you around the workshop a bit. It's my workbench, and you can see it's not very tidy. Neither is my lathe. The old Myfords here I've been using. I haven't actually bothered clearing up since my son's been making bullets on it for rifle bullets. But so it's got swarf it's got metal swarf, brass swarf, aluminium, bit of steel, all that stuff. And this morning I made let me find it. I think that's done it. I've just got to go back in the van. Yeah, I think my microphone's on now. So what I was going to show you was what I made this morning, which is this. I made it out of free cutting EN18s, and I don't know whether you can see that alright, but I put a hole there because I've got my mill working, and I just want to show you a few features of this mill. Anyway, yeah, so this is the 3-phase supply that I'm using, switched supply. I bought it for about 750 quid a number of years ago off a woodwork shop, and so yeah. So I made this morning, and what I also did this morning was, if I just get past this, here we are. So we're back on the Harrison here. I say back, haven't been on it for a long time. I didn't have, if you recall, a compound slide handle because it had been broken in the school it was in. The handle had been broken. Broken handle, it was, well, it's a pretty naff handle as well. Ball handle, ball crank, I think they're called these, ball cranks. Oh yeah, look at that, that's a lovely Jacob's chuck key, isn't it? Hey, that comes off that nice big Jacob's chuck up here, this monster daddy. I call that a monster because it's a monster for me, but obviously for no one else. If you put it in, so that's a big, that chuck key, I was very lucky to pick that chuck key up. Oh, it's not for this one, it's for a bigger one. Yeah, I bought this chuck key for about 13 quids in an old junk shop. I was very pleased to find it. Find the chuck that fits it somewhere. So the ball crank here is new, adapted from another piece which I bought on eBay, and this was on it. So I've just adapted the end of the new lead screw. So that's the lead screw that the current ball crank came off of, and that that went in there. It was this, just this end bit I bought on eBay. I don't know what it's from, a vertical slide or something. A lovely piece it would have been attached to. But I also bought a number of these Harrison. The Harrison, believe it or not, is a metric machine, whereas my German, or I say East German mill, built in the early 60s, is actually imperial. So here are two feed screws. I think the original feed screw is this one, so I had to adapt a feed screw from a slightly larger lathe made by Harrison still, give myself a new feed screw on the compound slide, which I've done now, but I haven't replaced the feed nut, slightly manky feed nut. I've got a good feed nut somewhere as well here, a good feed nut, but that would need chopping down as well in here, although it's a bit manked. So yeah, I've now got a compound slide. I just need to put a roll pin through there and sort out the jib strips on it. Now this morning also I made this, which is out of EN18 again. It's got some chuck marks on there because I had to hold it in the chuck. Unfortunately, and I haven't polished them out, but it always needs a bit of oil on it, this, to keep it shiny. Being EN18, it will rust, but it's fine if you leave oil on it. Nice bit of action there. And what I've done is I've drilled a 4.5mm hole, 4.3mm hole through the casting, which I've had welded, re-welded and blocked up, and then re-drilled that hole. And I re-drilled the hole in the way that I'm going to do this one, which was on there already, and I'm going to show you that on the mill. It's on my rotary table, what do you call it, dividing. I'm just using it as a vise. So all this needs oiling, it really does. This is a gorgeous vise, by the way. This is a British design vise made in India, but designed up in Chiddingfold in Surrey. It's very versatile. I won't take you through it because this is a Sparks channel, but it's a fantastic vise. So what I've done is I've drilled through here. I just wanted to show you some issues on the mill. What's so great about this, which I didn't have with my last mill, is that if I put the feed rate in here, I've then got this gear stick, and the gear stick allows me to down or up the knee, you see. So that's actually going up, you see. It's a power fed up, and then if I disengage that, all I do is pull it this way, and you can see it's going, what's it going? It's going down. Just goes down automatically, and it'll go down to the bottom of its travel and then auto stop. Also with this, I can horizontally feed it. If I push, so you can see, but I can horizontally feed by pushing it that way, and horizontally feed that way. Just fantastic facility. This is the main saddle traverse, and I've already drilled a 4.5mm hole in there. I need to fit up because I've only got collet chucks on this machine so far. A handle I made earlier, this ball handle, it's got a 6.6mm shaft there. So yeah, I think I'm going in with a 6.5. It's got a 6.6mm, that's aluminium, this is steel. I should be able to introduce that in there. If not, then I'll put a 7mm hole on there. Bored that out and tapped it M5, which then I can attach that to there. And then we've got our saddle traverse with a nice new saddle traverse ball handle on it. I'll gauge it. That is in inches, so here we have 6.46mm. So I'm gonna drill, by the look of it, I'm gonna drill 6.46 first. So I need a collet that will fit. There's a collet that will fit that size drill. We don't have a Jacobs type chuck on here at the moment because I don't have a Morse taper for fitting for it. So that needs tightening up now. Okay. Tightening up. There we go. So stick that on there, and then tighten that up. Right. So now we're ready. And then bring that up to where the drill is engaging. Down again. And what we'll do is see if that'll go in. And it will, in fact, with quite a lot of slop, so it's just as well I didn't bore that 7. That's got quite a fair amount of slop in it. So yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Notice the hand wheel itself is made of aluminium, and I've made the ball handle out of EN18 free machining leaded steel. And it doesn't come through the bottom, so now I just need an M5 screw in there, and I will have an M5 screw in the van. So I'll show you where in the van I keep my screws. Now normally my screws are in here. I think I've got some M5s in there, but it might need chopping off. It might be a bit too long. That have been ground. I've ground the heads on them, but it would be ideal if we could locate one with a washer. Units I need to stick. So there's the lathe there that I'm working on. It's the one in the front of the window that everyone looks at, so that's why I want it to look at its best always. In the van I happen to have a Hager D40 which will go out there, and then in here, in place of this Legrand 32 amp B32, I'll put this B32 RCBO. It's an M2 like the board. Outside I've just got what I've got out here at the moment is a bit of a lash up, although I made this all myself. I'm quite proud of it. The case, I mean, this GRP, it's GRP. I bought it on eBay for about 60 quid instead of 200 or something odd, 300, which it might have been. So I've got some Hagers here. This Hager B40 tends to go when I turn on the electricity. I've got a 16 and a 16. The B40 feeds the whole workshop and upstairs, and it goes out through this armour here, and the armour goes along there, up there, into this lovely whisker box, and then comes out as, believe it or not, that is HO7, thick old HO7 there. So that's flexible. The HO7 comes in there and feeds the board. Whatever I am. So take it off the chuck. Take it off the chuck. That. And then, yeah, so it just sticks out just enough. 0.5, no, 0.1 of a mil, it sticks out. And then hopefully that's going to be, I don't know, I think that's going to be too long, but what can I pass it off on the lathe maybe? That, put a shorter one in. I can't remember how long that is. It's not going to be that long, is it? So we are going to have to part this off on the lathe, height, which is a pain, as if it is. What's going to happen is I'm just going to break the tool. Turn that on. This one is single phase. A bit longer than that. There we go. Now, I don't think this is going to be very nice because, oh no, we're well below. Well, we are well below centre height with that parting tool. Obviously hot. Obviously hot. So I think we can go up. We can go up. Now, find that washer again. But anyway, it's going in now. I don't have a decent screwdriver here, but that's reasonably decent. Okay, now that's why I've bored a hole there. Can you see it there? I've bored a hole, so just need to stick a scriber in there. I'll stick a scriber in there like that to stop it rotating when I just do that up the last little bit. Oh, that's gone and marked the end because this screwdriver ain't exactly. Oh, maybe I've got a smaller one. Yeah, I have. Somehow I'll stop that from rotating. Let's put it in there for a minute. Come off is in a hurry, is it? So, like I say, it does move around a bit, as you can see, but it's not going to undo. So now this can go back on the lathe. Lovely thing, isn't it? So that goes on quite with a push fit, and then I just do that up a little bit. That gets it into the groove where, because it's splined, it doesn't rotate anyway. So there we go, and that's today's work. This and this, two brand new ball handles, and now the lathe actually is ready to start using. We switch to stop there. Wait for that to stop blinking. There we go. We can unplug this now. Put the ball handle on that, new ball handle on that, and ball crank adapted and put onto the top slide. So now we're pretty well all ready to be up and running, ready for Christmas presents. Oh, I tell you what, we haven't got the ball crank on the, the ball handle on the tailstock there. So there's still one to do on the tailstock. The tailstock wheel, this needs to come off. So although it's all imperial build, but it's a metric machine. Okay. It's important not to lose this 3/8. I think it's 3/8. Oh, is it width? I can't remember what that thread is. So this is the new one that's got to go back onto the milling machine. So that's going to go onto the milling machine next. We drilled through. That goes in the box. I'll just turn the machine off. Clutch out. And off. There we go. And then stop on that. And then what I need to do is make another ball handle.